Okay, hello ladies and gentlemen, Forrest Wobble here, and welcome back to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy. It has been some months since I last played this game, um, but I will say it is nice to come back to this game. We're taking a bit of a break from South Park: The Stick of Truth, and we're going to play a game that is sort of violent, but not as bad as, say, South Park: The Stick of Truth, because this is a Team 15 rated game. But we are back to playing this game in episode 5, Rise from the Ashes. So without further ado, let us begin. February 24th, 3:12 p.m. Wright & Co. Law Offices. I'm so sorry, Mr. Wright. I'm sorry for what my sister said. Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. It was just another name for the Joe Dark killings. Sounds like everyone's heard about these killings but me. Lana wanted Dark convicted so badly. That's why she used me. That's why she used what happened to me. What do you mean, what happened to you? It's all there in the file. Joe Dark's last victim was Prosecutor Neil Marshall. When he murdered Officer Marshall's brother, he left behind an incriminating piece of evidence. But what did you have to do with those killings, Emma? On the night Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered, Joe Dark tried to kill me. What? He tried to kill you? Officer Marshall's brother, Neil, was only trying to save me. So that means you. Yes. I was a witness in the Joe Dark trial. I didn't see that one coming. Mr. Goodman didn't have this on the day of the crime, right? Right. A few days before he was murdered, he had filed a lost item report. Although stolen item is more like it. Plugged by that lone wolf who dressed up like him. I never would have thought Officer Marshall the type to do something like that. It didn't come as much of a surprise to me. I bet you'd be pretty happy with the King of Attorneys shield too, huh? We defense attorneys are a scattered, unrecognized bunch. Still, I wonder why the trophy shield is broken. It is pretty odd, huh? I doubt it has anything to do with this case, though. So, Mr. Edgeworth's knife was the murder weapon? Right. Or so the witness Miss Starr claims. She saw your sister stab Mr. Goodman with this knife. All of this is that Angel Star's fault. She's not the one on trial here. Well, no, but she must have seen it wrong. Her eyesight isn't on trial here either. I noticed that defense students have a tendency to want to show people things. What is this, a behavioral study of lawyers? I just like to see what they all got to say about it, about things here. According to Miss Starr's testimony, your sister used her phone right after the murder to call you, right? But she hung up and couldn't hear anything. It was an underground parking lot, I suppose. She did say something about a muffler, but like I said, she hung up right away. this photograph, Miss Star must have been seeing things and photographing things. This proves Miss Sky was there at the scene of the crime. She is connected to this crime somehow. But how? There was something strange about the shoe, wasn't there? Let's see, what was it? It traces the blood on its sole. There wasn't any blood found at the prosecutor's office's underground parking lot. But we did find blood on the floor somewhere, didn't we? Where was that again? In the evidence room at the police department. Now stop using me as your memo pad! Hey, we gotta remember exactly what happened where, right? It's been months since we last been here, you know? Why would this have been in the car's exhaust pipe? It's evidence from an old case, right? Right? The SO9 incident. It was solved, apparently. This knife was stolen on the day of the evidence transferal. Maybe I should look into this SO9 incident. This stuff is pretty expensive. You don't say. How much? I'd say about $10 per gram. I save up my allowance to buy it. Your allowance? Did your sister give you that? Yes, we don't have parents. Right. Sometimes she even gives me a bottle instead of my allowance. A bottle of luminol testing fluid? Man, I'd just take the allowance myself. Yeah, you would. There's only one number left to check out. That's right. We now know the other numbers aren't related to the murder. 777777. An executive officer. 777777. I believe that's 17 too many. We can't find out whose number this is unless we have some incriminating evidence. That's going to be hard to dig up by tomorrow. Mr. Edwards is so kind giving us something like this. Hey, you don't think he likes me, do you? Are you okay, Emma? Mr. Wright, hurry! Run! Achoo! Here, I'll wipe those fingerprints off your face. Might as well wipe my dignity away too while you're at it. This screwdriver was at Edward's office, wasn't it? Yes, he said it didn't have anything to do with the crime. Now what are we doing carrying it around? Hey, don't ask me, I'm not the one making the decisions around here. If I recall, Edward said Chief Gant asked him to take this to the prosecutor's office. Mr. Cummins didn't have his idea of the day of the crime, right? Right. A few days before he was murdered. He put a lot of report, and now we already seen that. Let's see. Oh, wrong button. This jar is pretty fragile. It looks like it's about to break apart. What do you mean, about to? It's already broken. I meant again. This piece was found in Detective Goodman's evidence locker. That means this is somehow related to that other incident. This fingerprint was left on the locker when Marshall was stashing his bloody coat. I guess that blood wasn't Mr. Goodman's after all. Nope. Just died of an overly zealous patrolman. So there wasn't a murder at the police department at 5:15 in the end. I wonder what's going to happen to Officer Marshall now. We owe our entire success in court today to this tape. At first I thought it was a joke, but it turned out to be a goldmine of evidence. I counted a total of 5 clues in it. It also made the Blue the blue badger some publicity. Of the negative sort, that is. It seems everything is somehow related to this incident. What was it labeled again? The SR9 incident? Yes. The name of everyone connected to this trial is listed in here. All that's left is to figure out just what role everyone plays in this case. If we search hard enough, I think we'll find our answers. What exactly did or didn't Lana do? I'm not sure I want to know everything. Well, we're gonna know about it sooner or later. We're gonna know about the whole damn truth. February 24th, Detention Center Visitors Room. Looks like they're questioning Lana again. I guess we're not the only ones who want to question her. Well, since we've come all this way, why don't we go see Mr. Meekins? Let's nod and say we did. I'd rather come back and do that later. Alright, so nothing there, so let's go over to the underground parking lot just to see what we got. February 24th, Prosecutor's Office, underground parking lot. No one's here today. Not even Miss Starr. Everyone's probably busy looking at what exactly went down in the evidence room. That must be where the detectives are. Well, we proved in court today that on the day of the crime, no one was murdered in the evidence room at 5:15 p.m. Yeah, I thought we were finally making some headway in our case. But instead it looks like we just ended up making Lana look even more guilty. Hello there, Lana. I've gotta find all the answers by tomorrow. Yep. February 24th, High Prosecutor's Office, Room 1202. Mr. Edgeworth isn't here. Maybe he's being questioned by an inquiry committee? He took a real beating in court today. Yeah, with Lana admitting to falsifying evidence 2 years ago. I guess we'll just have to come back later. February 24th, Police Department entrance. Howdy, Bambina. Oh, Mr. Marshall. I never thought things would turn out this way when I woke up this morning. Sera. You never know where life will lead you, eh, Bambina? I should have known my luck had run out when old Billy dried up this morning. Billy? Must be his pet cactus. Say, where are you headed? Just over to the prosecutor's office for a little interrogation. It's a voluntary appearance. But we all know I won't be coming back. Sorry, but you can go into the evidence room today, partner. But Mr. Marshall, why did you do it? Why did Prospectors head west? If ever there was a case I needed to know the truth about, it was that one. Before you turn yourself in, Mr. Marshall, would you mind telling us exactly what happened? Looks like I won't be getting the state clothes today. Dark trial. Something was fishy about that trial from the beginning. It wasn't just me either. All the detectives thought so. What do you mean, fishy? Some of the facts reported were inconsistent with the evidence we found. For example, the murder weapon. The murder weapon? You mean that switchblade knife with the broken tip? That was Joe Dark's alright. But in the initial autopsy report, a question was raised. The question? The blade of the knife was not a perfect match with the wound the victim sustained. What does that mean? It means there's a good chance that knife was not the murder weapon. However, in the report that was finally submitted, that possibility had been erased. Could the facts have been concealed with forged evidence? That case left behind scars on all of us. The scars that the SR9 incident left behind. Prosecutor Marshall. Hold on a second. I got the looks, but he got the brains. He was one of the best prosecutors around. I just made detective when it went down. It was our first case together. How old was he, your brother? He was 27 at the time. He was awarded the highest honor that very day. The highest honor? You mean the king of prosecutors? I knew it. What are you looking at me like that for? That's an honor for a prosecutor. Mr. Marshall must have really been close with his brother. The day the SLN incident took place, that wasn't the same day as... That's right. It was the day of the evidence transferal. Interesting. It was drizzling that morning, and by nightfall there was thunder. I can't believe 2 years have gone by already. I tried to steal the evidence so the case wouldn't die. Apparently, someone tried to stop you. Detective Goodman was murdered, and the evidence locker was empty. Scars. There was something going on behind the scenes in that case. We all knew that later. Every detective involved in that investigation, save one, was taken care of. Miss Starr was fired, and I was demoted and boxed away in a tiny room. What about Detective Goodman? If they did something to him too, the commissioners would get suspicious. No, they were careful enough not to be too obvious. They? Who are you talking about? Don't get upset, Bambina. I mean Damon Gant and Lona Sky. Gant and Sky. The investigation lead, Damon Gant, and the second in command, Lona Sky. There wasn't a person on the force who hadn't heard of that duo. That case was the biggest step in both of their careers. After the case ended, Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office, right? Yeah. Damon Gant, the new chief of police, arranged for that to happen. She's never been the same since she left. Everyone who knew her said so. Chief Prosecutor Sky was totally different when she was a detective. Now that he mentions it, Emma said something like that too. Tell me, what happened to my sister? Sorry, Bambina, but her secret is too well guarded. I never found out. On a secret. It all started 2 years ago. So there you have it. That's my story. Did you enjoy it, partner? It was certainly enlightening. There's one thing for sure I found out in court today. That boy Edgeworth isn't my enemy. He was the one who used falsified evidence to get a guilty verdict. But someone else was the one who gave him that evidence and planned everything. That someone is Damon Gant. Don't believe me? Well, I don't blame you. I won't even be a patrolman after today. Too bad I won't be around to work with you when you become a real scientific investigator. Adios, Bambina. Hmm. So, as you know, we won't be able to go into the evidence room, so all we can do is go to the criminal affairs department. February 24th, Police Station, Criminal Affairs Department. I don't see Detective Gumshoe anywhere. Things seem kinda quiet around here today. You're right. The chief of detectives seems the same, though. Why don't we go look for some other people to talk to? Right. We can come back here later. Hmm. Hmm. They don't even give you very many places. They don't even give you anywhere to go to. You know, it's kind of. Mm. Well, time to do what I usually do when I'm stuck. Just try to figure it out from there. Alright. Okay, so I know what I gotta do. I need to talk to her about this stuff, so let's talk to her. I completely forgot about the fact that you can talk to people. Alright, SO9 incident. It happened 2 years ago. It was right about this time of the year, too. There was a terrible thunderstorm that day, unusual for the season. I was alone in my sister's office. We were planning to eat dinner together once she finished her work. Then suddenly, this terrifying man came bursting into the office. Joe Dart. It seemed like he was running from someone. He pulled out a knife and screamed at me. I didn't know what was going on. Just then Prosecutor Marshall showed up. Jake Marshall's brother. Joe Dart tried to take me hostage, but before he could, Mr. Marshall tackled him. Then, what happened? I'll never forget it. Lightning struck and the lights went out. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning flashed outside the window, lighting up the office for an instant. What I saw then burned a permanent picture in my mind. I can still see it now. A permanent picture? After the incident, I don't remember the moment when Dart stabbed Mr. Marshall. So you weren't able to testify about that? No, I was only asked about when I was attacked. That must be why she made up the crime. Made it up? You mean provided bogus evidence? The prosecutor's office wanted that guilty verdict so badly. Lana forged the evidence and Mr. Edgeworth used it. Edgeworth? Yes, but I'm sure he didn't know anything about it. He couldn't have known he was being given false evidence. Even so, that's when it's all started. The rumors about Mr. Edgeworth, I mean. It's all my fault. If I could have just testified properly, none of this would have happened. So it's true. Even though you may not have known it, Edgeworth really was involved in falsifying evidence. After that case ended, Lana was never the same. She became cold like she is today. She must not have been able to say something when she did, especially not to Emma. Permanent picture. What did you see in the instant that crime occurred? Dark knocked down Mr. Marshall and raised his knife. Neil Marshall was stabbed right in front of this poor girl. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't remember what happened after that. Apparently I passed out. When I came to, Lana was cradling me in her arms. Poor Emma. You've been through so much. I couldn't bring myself to testify about that incident. I tried, but the words just wouldn't come out. I drew a picture, but it wasn't any good. 2 years ago, you must have been 14. That's understandable. Once it was all over, I made up my mind. I decided that when I grew up, I'd become a scientific investigator. I want to be able to fight crime with my testimonies and find the evidence to make an airtight case. That way Lana would never have to forge any. I see. I think I'm finally starting to understand what makes Emma tick. But there's still something that bothers me about that crime. Something puzzling. There's something that's puzzling me, Emma. What is it? You said you were in Lana's office at that time, right? That's right. Why then would a serial killer come running in there? Not only that, but he was being chased by a prosecutor? Oh, there's no mystery there. Joe Dark had been taken in for questioning that day. Taken in for questioning? You mean by the police? Of course. This happened at the police department. He tried to run away halfway through the interview and fled into my sister's office. But why did he run all the way to your sister's office? Because the detective offices in the questioning room are right across from the elevator. Across from the elevator? But Lana was the chief prosecutor, wasn't she? No, silly. Didn't I tell you? 2 years ago, Lana was a detective. She was the best in the entire force. What? That's news to me. After the Joe Dark case, she was transferred to the prosecutor's office and made chief prosecutor. Lana used to be a detective? I'd better have another talk with her. Uh-oh. Time to go to the detention center for that. February 24th, detention center visitors room. Lana, Mr. Wright, it seems I keep causing you trouble. Falsifying evidence? I didn't think you were the type. Criminals don't mind playing foul. Why should we? So you're going to stoop to their level. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Why stoop to the level of an asshole when you could be the better person and make them look stupid? Am I wrong? I'm pretty sure I'm not wrong here. Why would you really want to take a page out of a criminal's playbook when you could be the better person and make the criminal look like a moron for thinking they can get away with something like that, with something? But Lana, if you're wrong, an innocent person might be found guilty. Believe me, I understand the risks. Lana, Emma told me about you. Oh? About how you were a detective 2 years ago, and how the S09 incident was the reason for your transfer to the prosecutor's office. That's right. Could you fill me in on the details? Especially about that unusual change of jobs? I suppose you have a right to know, Mr. Wright. Damn right he does. Today's trial. A lot of revelations were uncovered at the trial today, not the least of which was the fact that this case is largely connected to another one 2 years ago. The evidence in that case was stolen as well, though I expected as much. I know how obsessive Officer Marshall can be. That trial, it really wasn't fair, was it? I believed in you, Lana. I believed that no matter what happened, you'd always stick to the truth. It couldn't be helped, Emma. Oh yes it can. Don't delude yourself, ma'am. At that trial 2 years ago, I sold my soul. Well, all drama aside, the fact of the matter is, at 5:15 there was no murder at the police department. Tell me it's not true, Lana, what the witness, Miss Starr, said about you stabbing Mr. Goodman with a knife. Lana, I don't understand. Why won't you tell us? Emma, this doesn't involve just me. I don't think I've ever seen Lana look so fazed before. Detective Lana Sky. It's true. I was a member of the police force 2 years ago. She was amazing. They still talk about all the cases she and Chief Gant cracked together. Chief Gant? He was the deputy chief of police back then, but he still worked the crime scenes. Damon Gant. He was everything I aspired to be. They were the best team ever. They solved crimes before the reports could even be filed. Emma really idolizes her big sister. But now you're chief prosecutor. What happened? I always planned on becoming a prosecutor. The reason I became a detective was to gain experience investigating crime scenes so you could use that experience in court, right? Gant's help in the SR9 case was crucial to its resolution. After that, he became chief of police and arranged my transfer to the prosecutor's office. Maybe I should ask more about this investigation of theirs 2 years ago. Dark investigation. 2 years ago, I was second in command of the detectives investigating Dark. Second in command? That means the investigation lead was Damon Gant, right? Yes. Deputy Chief Gant and I shared the same office and the same investigations. We even had the same office. We led a team of the best detectives on the force. Detective Goodman, whose case it was, Jake Marshall, and Angel Starr. It was the first time Marshall worked with his brother. He was quite gung-ho. Without a doubt, Joe Dark was the serial killer. We asked him to come in for questioning. We were desperate for evidence. That was when his final murder took place. When he tried to murder Emma. Prosecutor Marshall was trying to save me from Dark. You see, the first person who happened upon the scene of the crime was me. Now you tell us. First one at scene. Damon Gant and Leo Marshall were the ones questioning Dark that day. The investigation was in its final stages and Dark must have suddenly panicked. So he waited until Gant and Marshall let their guards down, then fled the room. From there he ran straight to the office shared by Deputy Chief Gant and myself. That's where he found me. So you were the first person to run to the scene, Lana? It appears so. I was filing some papers while Gant and Marshall were questioning Dark. When I returned to my office, I saw 3 bodies on the floor and smelled blood. 3 bodies? Prosecutor Marshall, the victim, Emma, who had passed out, and the suspect, Joe Dark. During the struggle, it seems Mr. Marshall struck a final blow before he died. Joe Dark had incurred a minor concussion and lay unconscious. What did you do? To be honest, I panicked. I picked up Emma, carried her out of the room and just held her. Can't blame her. After all, her sister must have gone through. After that, I placed Dark under immediate arrest. Let me get this straight. You were all involved in the SR9 incident. That's right. Quite a coincidence, huh? I don't buy it. What are you saying? There's no way everyone involved in this trial was also involved in that incident. Just by chance. But that case was solved 2 years ago. At least one person went to extremes because they didn't believe it was truly solved. Officer Marshall. Yes, his actions came as a surprise to me as well. Ever since his brother died, he's changed completely. I guess he wasn't convinced with the ruling against Joe Dark. Life doesn't end with the closing of a case. Everyone has to live the rest of their lives with their memories. That case just might not be over. That case just might not be over yet. Emma was assaulted by Dark at the police department, right? Yes, in the office that Damon Gant and I shared. The office that Mr. Gant now occupies by himself. The chief's office. Maybe we should have a look at the chief's office. The site of the final SR9 murder. Alright, let's see what we can do with that. February 24th. Police Station, Criminal Affairs Department. This place is always pretty empty, but today it's deserted. That must mean everyone's busy solving crimes. Oh, if you're looking for the others, they're all in the conference room. Thanks. Wow, he actually talked to us. With the chief prosecutor saying what she did and the decision about what to do about Mr. Edgeworth, not to mention our statement to the media and tomorrow's trial, there's more chaos going on than Thanksgiving and Christmas put together. I think festive is the word usually used for those. Sir, we'd like to have a look around Chief Gant's office. Now, how much you want to bet he's probably not going to let us, as much as he would probably want to. Just use the connecting hallway to the other building and take the elevator to the top floor. Really? You mean it's okay for us to go in there? I mean, we are... Oh. Emma! What the fuck? We could have gotten in there scot-free, and you just had to say that. You just had to say it. You fucking dumbass. I mean, we aren't police or any officers or anything. Hey, you're right. You can't go in there. It's off limits. I see where Detective Gumshoe gets his unique charm. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's head to the chief's office. February 24th, Police Department, Chief's Office. Whoa! Where am I? In the Chief's office, silly? At least that's what it said on the door. Check out that pipe organ. That's real, isn't it? Hey, I used to take organ lessons in kindergarten. They used to call me Little Miss Bach. I thought I was a genius until they tried teaching me notes. Ow. I never could remember where C was. Hmm? Oh, it's you two. Chief Gant. He put that paper he was reading on his desk. So, righto! How have you been swimming lately? No, I haven't. I've been kinda busy lately. I can appreciate that. I've had my hands full too with Mr. Marshall's misconduct and Lana's provocative statement. Provocative statement? Oh, you mean about the forged evidence? 2 years have passed since that incident. My, how time flies! See that big picture on the wall over there? That's a picture of Lana, Neil, and me. So this is Mr. Marshall's brother, Prosecutor Neil Marshall. We took it to commemorate our work together. Something's not right with this picture. I can't quite seem to put my finger on it though. Gant team picture added to the court record. Photo at the award ceremony of Gant, Lana, and Neil. Anyway, I'd like to reminisce all day, but there are matters that need my attention. I'm going to lock up here, so let's go out together. Oh, but this office, it was a crime scene 2 years ago, wasn't it? That case has long since been over. There's no need to investigate it anymore. All the same, we'd still like to have a look around. Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said there's no need to investigate it any further anymore. Now hurry up and get out. I have a meeting to attend. Looks like we aren't welcome. It seems that case isn't over with yet after all. What do you mean? Chief Gant denied our request to search the crime scene. That means there must be a reason he doesn't want us looking around in there. You mean like a clue? There's gotta be a way we can get inside Chief's office. I gotta go back in. February 24th, Police Station, Criminal Affairs Department. Hey, pal. Detective Gumshoe. Aren't you supposed to be in a meeting? I'm, just taking a breather. My feet hurt. For context, the reason why I almost started laughing because he said my feet hurt is because, there's a video, by the YouTuber that is Dubus Goobus. He made a video, the second of 3 videos involving Ace Attorney type of stuff, right? And at one point, he made the second video was involving your typical Ace Attorney trial. And at one point, Phoenix in the video is like, "Wait, why am I saying who's the suspect here? I'm just here to make sure my client is found not guilty, right?" Uh, but basically, he says, "It's the detective's job to find the suspects on the fucking defense." And the judge is like, "Detective Gumshoe, what is your input?" And Gumshoe, right in the corner, "I don't want to look around the crime scene anymore. My feet hurt real bad. End the crime." He's got a good point, right? His feet are looking real tired. He's got a point, right? His feet are getting real tired looking around the crime scene. They were so bad. I love that video. I just love those videos involving Ace Attorney that Nubis Goobus has done. So funny. Just note if you watch them, they might have some language in them, so be mindful of that. But they're still really funny, and I recommend it to anybody that wants to watch some funny videos just funny videos that are somewhat aimed at kids, but also aimed at adults too. Basically, kids cartoon, adult language, sort of. Not entirely, but yeah. From sitting so long? Actually, from serving everyone coffee. Sounds like Detective Gumshoe's still out of the loop. Say, have either of you seen Mr. Edgeworth? Edgeworth? No. Why do you ask? He's under fire from both the police department and the prosecutor's office. It's almost like the battle's between you two in court. That sounds serious. Is it because of what my sister said? That's basically what it all boils down to. That falsified evidence 2 years ago. Now Mr. Edgeworth has the whole world after his blood. Yikes. Edgeworth's crisis. But why would Edgeworth be blamed? It's not like he knew the evidence was forged. Lana Skye is the guilty party here, isn't she? Oh, be quiet, Emma. Don't look at him like that. Regardless, the prosecutor's responsible for the evidence they present in court. Not only that, but as you know, there have been rumors of going around about Mr. Edgeworth. His amazing talent as a prosecutor kept him safe from those who don't like him. But now with this... Are there really so many people who hate him? In our world, only those with talent rise to the top. Mr. Edgeworth not only has that, but he's young. There's no better recipe I know of for making enemies. Hey Dick, doing the good work. Yes, sir. Let's go out for lunch again sometime. My treat. Yes, sir. You gotta take me back to that joint sometime, okay, Dick? Yes, sir. It seems you don't have any problems with enemies. Yeah, well, I'm careful not to stick out. Anyway, I'm a bit worried about him. Under all this pressure, I'm afraid Mr. Edgeworth just might crack. SL9 incident. Actually, I took a look at the file earlier while the coffee was brewing. He seems genuinely concerned for Edgeworth. Well, did you find out anything? The only evidence Stark left behind was during his final attack. His final attack? You mean... when he killed Prosecutor Marshall, who was trying to protect some girl. Me. It seems Detective Gumshoe never realized Emma was the girl. That's when he left the most incriminating evidence of all. Well, what was it? Let's see. I think it had something to do with the murder weapon. Oh, I forget. Look, it's all written somewhere in here, okay? His powers of recollection never fail to impress. Maybe we should show him the murder weapon. It might jog his memory. Dark's crime. Joe Dark was 42 at the time of the crime. He was just a run-of-the-mill businessman. A businessman? What made him take to serial killing? One day on his way home from work, he hit someone with his car. With his car? So, it was an accident? An accident, yes! But it transformed him into an animal. An animal? He killed a man that witnessed the accident. Then he killed a lady who saw that. A kid walked by then, so he killed him too. Then when he was dealing with the bodies, the judge came out to see was good as well. Finally, he turned himself in. Okay, so, here, hold on a second. So I just want to state what he just said, okay? So what happened was he caused an accident. He hit somebody with his car, caused an accident. And so when somebody witnessed that accident, he killed that person. And then when a second person witnessed that murder, he killed the second person. So he killed a man who witnessed the accident. Then he killed a woman who witnessed him killing the man. And then when he noticed a little boy, a kid, witnessing that, He kills him. The fuck is up with that bullshit? I don't even know. And while he was dealing with the 3 bodies, the jogger comes by and he kills that guy too. Jesus Christ, dude, that is crazy. I know it's a video game storyline, I get it, but that is still crazy. Seems he was a pretty careless animal. Of course, this was all conjecture. There wasn't a single shred of evidence. So he turned himself in. Yes, but in the middle of his questioning, he fled and murdered his final victim, Prosecutor Marshall. The crime was witnessed by someone too, but luckily, Dark was arrested on the spot. It's a good thing that last witness wasn't killed. That last witness, aka Emma. About this. Hey! Is that? It has a tag attached to it with the label SL9 Incident on it. I believe this would be the broken murder weapon you were speaking of. What are you doing with that? Ever since that case was closed, that knife's been locked away in a locker. On the day Detective Goodman was murdered, this suddenly disappeared from the locker. It was found in Mr. Edwards' car muffler. That's it! Now I remember what that incriminating piece of evidence was. When you showed me that knife, it all came back to me. Well, what is it, Detective? Quick, before you forget again. Murder weapon. This knife. It was Joe Dark's, wasn't it? That's right. We traced it back to the store he bought it at. Plus, it had its fingerprints on it, too. But no one actually witnessed him using it to murder anyone, right? That's where his luck ran out. When you take a good look at the knife, you'll see it's broken. You don't have to take a good look to notice that. Yeah, well, anyway. Take a guess where the broken off tip of the knife was found. That's what did him in. Where was it? The victim, Neil Marshall, was carrying it inside his own body. It was found deep inside the stab wound. Did it match Dark's knife? You bet! Down to the last fiber. That's pretty conclusive. Neil's autopsy report added to the court record. Stabbed in the back, died from punctured heart and lung. A knife tip was in the wound. Switchblade knife updated in the court record. The broken tip was found in the victim's body. Belonged to murderer Joe Dark. Well, there you have it in a nutshell. That's all I know. Can I ask you one more thing? What is it? If it's money you need, you should ask Chief Gant. It's not money, but it does concern the chief. His office is a crime scene, right? It's where Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered. The chief's out now and his office is locked. But we'd like to have a look around if that's okay. Well, any detective's ID card can unlock the door. What? Really? But if I let a civilian in there, I'd be charged with a breach of trust. Breach of trust? Simply put, I'd be canned. Oh. Sorry, pal. I don't plan on getting fired because of you. How about this ID? It was Detective Goodman's. That won't work either. The data was deleted the day he died. Oh. So in other words, Double Shoe is our only chance of getting into that office. I wonder if there's something we could show him that would make him change his mind. Oh, there is, but we gotta move somewhere to do it. Oh, wrong button. Gotta love some nice good tea, I tell you. February 24th, High Prosecutor's Office, room 1202. I wonder if Edgeworth is back yet. There he is! It looks like he's writing something. What are you doing here? You sure was quick to throw that paper on the floor. Tough day in court, huh? I've had to live the past 2 years with rumors flying around. What's another allegation to me? Cheer up, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm rooting for you. That's Edgeworth for you. Always trying to hide his real feelings. So what do you want? Unlike some people, I don't have all day. Forged evidence. There's no excuse for what I've done. 2 years ago, I used false evidence to obtain a guilty verdict. That's what it all breaks down to, and nothing I do can erase that fact. But you didn't know, did you? I mean that the evidence was falsified. The police department and the prosecutor's office share a bond of trust. If that bond is broken, we stand to lose everything. The police department's error is my error. My responsibility as the prosecutor in charge. That fact remains the same no matter what excuses I might have. Mr. Edgeworth, I take pride in my work. So tell me why? Why has it all come to this? Even Edgeworth can't keep this kind of emotion bottled up. Tomorrow's trial. Are you up for the trial tomorrow? First last year's trial, and now this one. It seems all you do is worry about me. To be honest, you're getting on my nerves. But Mr. Edgeworth, you can't just walk out on the trial. Tomorrow is the last day. It's too late to change prosecutors. I'll bet that's what my superiors are banking on. I never thought that case would come back to haunt me like this. What do you mean? The list of evidence. It seems too short. Most lists run twice as long. It's only half as long as most lists? That is odd. After Leo Marshall was murdered, I became prosecutor for that case. I may not have been part of the investigation, but I knew what I had to do. Use the evidence I was given to prove the suspect guilty. That was really the only thing on my mind at the time. Say, we just saw a picture taken around that time. That picture. Something seems strange about it. The day of the crime. Could you tell us again about what happened that day? The day Detective Goodman was murdered? You were participating in a ceremony over at the station, right? I've never cared for ceremonies, but I had to attend that one. Because you were awarded this? Those receiving awards can't exactly step out on the ceremony. I finished up at the office in the morning, then drove over to the police department. You finished up at the office? Yes, just odds and ends, clerical stuff. I didn't plan on returning to the office that day. That is, until I was asked to take something back. Take something back? This. Oh yeah, Chief Gale asked you to hold on to that, didn't he? Yes, there was a piece of evidence in a case that was closed half a year ago. He asked me to bring it back to the prosecutor's office. That's the story we heard yesterday. So you came back here because the prosecutor's office, because the chief asked you to? That's right. You know, I'm ready to put this on a shelf or something. That has no meaning for me anymore. What do you mean, anymore? That's who I was last year. What good is it to dwell on the past? He's asking me? Ah, why can't he just accept it graciously? Actually, something's been troubling me about the shield. Look, do you notice anything different? Different? Yeah, don't you remember? The outer shell of the court record. I guess I'd rather present this other shield. Yeah, hold on a second. This picture was hanging on the wall in Chief Gant's office. Prosecutor Leo Marshall. He had just started making a name for himself. Looks like this was taken when he received the King of Prosecutors trophy. Speaking of that, there's something that bothers me. Yes? The trophy Mr. Marshall is holding. It's a little different than yours. Yes, you're right. Ah, I remember now. Remember what? There was what the official prosecutor's trophy looked like 2 years ago. There's a story behind its design. A story? Sounds interesting. Would you mind telling it to us? It's simple, really. Contradiction. That's what the award's based on. King of Prosecutors Trophy. This award originates from an ancient Chinese tale. In Chinese, the word contradiction is written with 2 characters. The first means halberd, and the second means shield. Have you ever heard this story? Me? Sure. Everyone knows that. Why don't you tell it, though? For Emma's sake. Very well. Long ago in the kingdom of Chu, there was an arms merchant. One day he presented the king with 2 items. The first was the halberd he claimed could slice through any shield or armor. The second was the shield to be changed with could withstand any weapons. Wait a minute. Those claims contradict each other. Very perceptive. It's anything you've heard this story before, right? Anyway, as you mentioned, the very descriptions of these items discredited both. When the king pointed this out, the merchant was left speechless. And thus the Chinese word for contradiction was born. Oh, I see. So the chipped shield and broken knife symbolize... Precisely so. They symbolize the merchant's items. The ancient tale ends with the merchant at a loss for words. But it's in our nature to pursue matters of their own guilty. Even if it results in something as ugly as this. Wow. Thanks, Mr. Edgeworth. I learned something new today. That's funny. If that's so, then why was you... Wait, if that's so, then why were you only given a shield? Alright. Kind of dozed off for a second there, but I'll probably get me some more tea here in a little bit anyway, so that's a total disaster here. I'll have to ask Chief Gant. 2 years ago, he had the halberd part of the awards abolished. Chief Prosecutor. King of Prosecutors ought to be updated in the court record. We're gonna talk about here. But we need to move this here. none of this piece of paper because it is important to the story here. I wonder what he was writing before. Come on, Mr. Wright, let's take a look. Are you crazy? Edward is sitting right here. Just distract him, I'll check it out. Hey Edward. Is that Detective Gumshoe out the window there? Oh no! He's falling to the ground! Hold on, first let me see what this girl's doing. Crawling around my feet. Damn, he's like, wow, dude. I guess he's going after the closest threat to, what he's probably gonna say later. Who knows? He didn't even look. What? Letter... If you're having trouble reading, I'll read it for you. It says letter of resignation. Resignation? Edgeworth, you don't mean... I'm tired, right? I feel as if something inside me has died. But Mr. Edgeworth, none of it is your fault. I know the path I've chosen, I've walked. You don't need to tell me. And the path I've walked hasn't been just the one. I can't forgive myself for what I've done. And now I'm just... And no one else should forgive me either. Uh-oh, I'm gonna be serious. Mr. Wright, please, you have to do something. This letter of resignation, I wonder if I can use it for anything. Letter of resignation. Edward's discarded letter of resignation. He's serious. Oh, what's this? February 24th, Prosecutor's Office, Underground Parking Lot. Excuse me? Whoa! Would either of you care for a quarter pound of roast beef? Miss Star! I guess you kind of loves you. You certainly are the curious type, aren't you? Kind of like the first person who's instructed a cow's nipple to discover milk. Dude, I never heard that. I thought you'd go digging up that taste from 2 years ago. Everyone in that trial was involved in the S9 incident. Not only that, but the murder occurred on the very day the evidence in that case was due to transfer. It can't be all attributed to mere coincidence. Aren't you forgetting something? You know that little scene I happened to witness? The last in the instant Lana stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. No matter how much the past you dig up, it won't change what I saw. Roast beef is meant to be savored when eaten. The star's hatred toward Mia's... Wow, dude, look at that. Alright. The star's hatred toward Lana. It all dates back to 2 years ago. I'm I'm actually gonna do something real quick. I'll be right back. Give me one quick second.